I just turned the complexity up to over 9,000. Or did I? Welcome back to the Butter Bunch. My name is Jacob Butter, and I'm here to bring you another Dragon Ball What If discussion. As I've mentioned before, I'm a huge Masako X fan, and I absolutely love his What If discussions, in all their creativity, yet loyalty to the franchise we both enjoy. Two of his most popular discussions are the long-running What If Raditz Turned Good and What If Nappa Turned Good, respectively. A tried and tested method in Dragon Ball media, and two ideas I have long since wanted to try out myself. Something which Masako himself seems to actively be encouraging people to do. But why limit ourselves to just one of the fantastic meanings of Vegeta? That would just make us miss the other one. And so I bring you today, What If Raditz and Nappa Turned Good? I mentioned I'm a fan of Masako. I'm also a fan of Team 4-Star, and I'm going to begin this scenario by borrowing an idea from them. Everything proceeds as in the original story up until the point that Piccolo is about to finish off Raditz and Goku with a special beam cannon. The difference is this.
And there was no way I could have gotten out of there.
You know, you could have flown.
Damn you, hindsight! Bleh.
I mean, Abridged Piccolo is absolutely right. So, in this scenario, Raditz flies into the air with Goku still holding onto him, but quickly decides to land on his back, slamming Goku onto the hard rocks beneath them. Goku's grip is loosened, and Raditz breaks free, shaken by how close he had come to being blasted to the next dimension. Trying to stop himself from shaking, Raditz takes off once again to retreat. Why does he do this? Well, Raditz is a more cautious Saiyan than most, and given that he'd been distracted once already by Goku and Piccolo working together, he had no reason to assume it wouldn't happen again. As fate would have it, Goku was winded by that last slam to the ground, and needed some time to recover anyways. So Raditz probably could have finished him off, but oh well! At this point, several things are different to the original story. 1. Raditz and Goku are still alive. 2. Piccolo doesn't kidnap Gohan because Goku is still around. 3. Vegeta and Nappa don't decide to head to Earth just yet. Nappa does suggest going, but Vegeta shuts the idea down for the time being.
If the weakling had to insist on going to this Earth place, and he couldn't even manage to off the locals, then quite frankly it's a mess he can pull himself out of.
The prince is content to behold the show from afar, often checking his scouter to see how Raditz was doing and laugh at his misfortune. Also, they never heard about the Dragon Balls because Piccolo never discussed bringing Goku back to life. Meanwhile, Goku and Gohan return to the house and explain the whole deal to Chi-Chi, who is quite clearly taken aback at the revelation that her husband was an alien, but more concerned with the safety of her family. Goku, of course, brushes this off.
It's alright, Chi-Chi. Piccolo and I fought him off once. We can do it again.
Goku is feeling quite confident that once he's recovered, he can try and take his brother on once again. And since he survived the attack, he has gained a little bit of a Zenkai boost, going from a max power level of 416 to about 496. Hey, I had to stick that number in somewhere. If you don't know why I like it so much, go to this video on my main channel. Obviously, he doesn't know about Zenkais yet. He just feels a little stronger and more fired up, like he usually does after a particularly interesting fight. Chi-Chi is quite adamant about the family laying low, but Goku quite rightly points out that if Raditz could find him once, then he could do it again. So he decides to go and find Piccolo and see if the pair of them can train up and come up with a plan to fend off Raditz, should he decide to attack again. He leaves Chi-Chi with a few words of wisdom. If they wanted to stay hidden, she had to make sure never to make Gohan mad. And with that, he flies away. Goku senses Piccolo not too far away, but he realizes that there's a huge power headed towards that same location. It's Raditz. Goku changes to max speed and zooms to Piccolo's location. Obviously, the Namekian was aware of both speeding Saiyans, and once Goku arrived at where he'd seen the energy readouts, Piccolo was nowhere to be seen. Hiding behind the nearby rocks, Piccolo was charging up another special beam cannon. He had Goku in his sight. After 5 minutes, it would be so tempting to finish his old enemy off. But he knows he mustn't. Right now, the threat is Raditz. Sure enough, Raditz shows up, realizing there are now 2 readings on his scouter and that he lured himself back into a trap.
What? How? How'd you know where I was? You don't have a scouter? Oh, I can sense energy. If you want, I can teach ya. But you gotta promise not to blow up the planet.
Raditz can't believe his ears. Even after everything he'd said and done, his foolish brother was still being nice to him? How on earth made him this soft? It was disgusting. And yet, it was his best chance to stay alive.
Oh, yes! I'd very much like to learn this power. I promise I won't blow up the planet if you teach me. Now that I've seen you fight, I'd be honored to join you.
That's all Goku needs, and he powers down. At which point Piccolo comes out of his hiding spot, absolutely flabbergasted by Goku's stupidity. Get used to that, Piccolo. The Namekian berates Goku for his choice. How could he be so careless and just believe this invader from outer space that just changed his mind on a whim? Goku assures Piccolo that they can keep an eye on him. They defeated him once before, surely they could do it again, but Piccolo isn't in the mood to wait. He fires his second special beam cannon straight at Raditz, who barely has time to move out of the way. Instead of hitting his heart, the beam pierces through his shoulder, rendering his arm useless. I assume at this point that the animators will probably draw him holding his left arm, this pose. The classic Dragon Ball one. This is when Goku actually steps in to fight Piccolo himself, leaving his brother dumbfounded as well as in agony, just watching what was going on. Was that really all it took to persuade Kakarot to turn to his side? Well, perhaps there was some way of getting him to join the Frieza Force after all. He just had to bide his time and use his brain and find a way to increase his influence over his brother. For now, he could help him out. He fires a Saturday Crush from his good hand and it connects, sending Piccolo hurtling away. Goku thanks his brother for the assist and proceeds to take him to receive some medical care. However, Goku's not as dim as you might think in this scenario. He knows Raditz could be trying to manipulate him, and without Piccolo cooperating, he wouldn't stand a chance against him. But he has a plan to make sure his brother doesn't pose a threat to the world, and that he slowly, but surely, turns good. That's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. Yes, I know, I promised you Nappa as well, but Raditz comes first, so he gets my focus for the time being. I've got to keep my eye on the birdie, so join me for part 2 whenever that comes out. Until then, do subscribe to the channel and let me know what you think of the video by means of liking or disliking, and leaving your thoughts in the comments of where the discussion could go. I'll see you all soon enough for another Butter Bunch video. Toodle pip.